Here he flies in. Harry, the HP cock. How are you, Harry?
Yeah, fantastic, Danny. Good to talk to you again.
What's the name of your website?
HistoryOutThere.com, and it's got a lot of history, and especially about Ipswich. You've got finally got the story about that Bundamba gun this week, Danny.
Yeah, the World War II German, the Nazi machine gun. By the way, next week on the program during this hour, we'll be talking to Peter Baruch, who's written a book, My Story, A Life Saved, A Life Worth Lived. He is dedicated to his late parents. His family could have perished in the Holocaust, and he was only a little baby, and his dad made a decision to get out there. They were a well-to-do family, and he knew if the Nazis turn up, they'd take his country retreat, his chauffeur-driven cars and everything else. But his brother decided to stay, and, well, they got into Auschwitz, and that's the end of that family. So that's interesting. But let's talk about these Nazi bludgers with this World War II German tank, which is in which park? Or what?
Well, Danny, this actually goes back before that. It's actually a First World War German machine gun that was unveiled in Bundamba Memorial Park back on Anzac Day in 1923.
Wow.
Now, I've traced it from when it went missing 20 years later, and it's not a happy ending. Because from the Australian War Memorial, I know that as a war trophy, Bundamba got given a German light machine gun on a bipod stand. Now, I know it was serial number 3943, so I've had a crack at tracking that.
Right.
Now, it was captured in the closing stage of the war in 1918 by the 15th Infantry Battalion, which is made up mostly of Queenslanders, and that's why it came near Bundamba.
Wow.
Now, come the Second World War, which your guy will be talking about as well, the old German guns around the place were getting collected up. Right. The reason was because they were unsafe, but in reality, there were concerns that they could be used here by Third Reich supporters or the German Fifth Column.
Is that right?
Now, getting stuck into the Ipswich City Council minutes of 1943, as you do, they give a clue about what happened next to the gun, because there are a number of meetings about the various guns around the place. Now, it was probably taken to the council's Thorn Street depot and almost certainly scrapped in support of the war effort. So the Bundamba machine gun may even have ended up as steel in one of the army barges that were built by the Chinese labourers the Americans brought here during the Second World War.
Oh, mate, how sad that item, that thing is not in existence still.
It's sad, but it had a sad story right from the start, because I should note the Bundamba men in the 15th Battalion, they actually captured the gun, and it's not a happy story, because there was Tom Barclay, he lived at Bergen's Hill. He was wounded during a night patrol in France when a German threw a bomb at him. Yeah. Then there was little Barney Everding, who was just 5'2". Yeah. He was in Belgium when he got shrapnel on his legs and stomach. Now, his brother had been killed at Passchendaele the year before. And the man most likely to have been there when the machine gun was captured was Fred Shanks. Right. He was another miner from Bundamba. He was severely gassed in the trenches, but sadly he had troubles with authority his whole life, Danny, and alcohol got the better of him. So we know where the Bundamba machine gun came from and went to, but it was never a happy story, unfortunately.
Well, post-traumatic stress disorder, they used to call it combat shock, I think, or something like that, didn't they, back those days? And
all those old diggers from First World War, no one understood what they went through, and they all died young, unfortunately, and their families around them suffered as well.
Oh, look, you are such a... your segment gets listened to by the whole of Australia. They love it.
That's because they love hearing you, Danny. You're a great interviewer.
Yeah, listen, let me tell you, you know who's listening at the moment? The First Lady and Donald Trump in the White House as they go into quarantine, and they are listening to this program.
I have no doubt whatsoever. We're live on the web, after all.
What is your website?
Yeah, you can go to my website. It's actually, you can see photos of what the gun looked like and the men who captured it. It's HistoryOutThere.com. HistoryOutThere.com. Get onto it. Harry the H. Peacock. We're going to a break at 8:17. Thanks, Harry, on West Bremer Radio.